Hi guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I am so excited. Today we're going to be learning how to make a basic skirt. First of all, you want to open a box. Okay, this is a very simple way to make a basic skirt. And I'm going to be opening a box, and for that box, you are going to draw a starting line on top of your paper and a starting line at the other side of your paper. So you are like drawing a horizontal and a vertical line on the corners of your paper. Okay. Now, for us to open this box, the next thing you want to do is to divide your hip into two. So my hip is 37. Divided by 2, I have 18.5. So now I'm going to place my tape rule on the vertical line, and I'm going to take 18.5 to the other end. Okay, just look on the screen and follow what I am doing. Okay. So now I'm taking 18.5 down. You can see where I am marking my 18.5. Now, when you are done with marking this, just go ahead. Now, guys, when you are done with that, the next thing you want to do is to take the length of your skirt. Now, you have to know where you want your skirt to stop, okay? So mine is going to be just a little below my knee. So the length of my skirt is 28 inches, okay? So you can, you have your own particular choice for the length of your skirt. Then you take it from the horizontal line on top down. So now we have our box. Can you see that? The next thing we're going to do is to divide this box into two, okay? Now what I have is, for my wideness is 18.5. Remember, I'm going to divide this 18.5 into two. And what I'm going to have is 9.25, okay? So I'm going to be marking 9.25 at the middle, which is the middle point of my box, okay? So when we have that, we're going to be having the front skirt and the back skirt. So now we're going to be drafting out the front and the back of our skirt at the same time. Simple, isn't it? And very fast. So now I've gone ahead to divide my box into two, and we are going to take one part as the front and the other as the back. So here I'm going to label this as the front of the skirt, and this other here as the back of the skirt. And then for the front, we're going to have the center front, on this part facing outwards, and then we're going to have the center back on this other back, okay? Just follow what I am doing and you will understand, okay? Now, guys, automatically, this line on top is going to become our waistline, okay? So that starting line on top is our waistline. So now I'm going to place my tape rule from that line, and I'm going to mark from my waist to my hip, which is 9 inches. If you're doing this for someone on a big size, like hip 40 something, 50 something, going up, you should use 10 inches, all right? So I'm going to use my waist to my hip as 9 inches, and I've gone ahead to label right there as my hip. And I took this for the front and the back. Okay, now I'm going to go up to my waistline and take my waist round divided by 4. So my waist round is 28. Divided by 4, I have 7. Okay, I'm going to come back again to my back. So whatever I do for the front, I will do for the back. So you're drafting out the back and front at the same time. Okay. Now, right here at my back, from my center back, I am taking my waist round divided by 4, which is 7 inches. Okay. Now I've done that for the waist. I'm going to come down to the hip line, and I'm going to mark my hip round divided by 4. Okay, so my hip round is 37 divided by 4. I have 9.25, and that should take up the whole space of that particular block for the front. Now listen, we opened this box with our hip round divided by 2, and then we went ahead again to divide it again by 2. Right? So your hip round divided by 4 should take up the whole space of your block for both your front and your back. If it is not taking up the whole space, you have made a mistake. Okay? Now I'm going to come down to the length of my skirt, and whatever it is that I marked on my hip, I'm going to remove 2 inches and mark that on the length of my skirt. So for my hip, I marked 9.25. So minus 2 inches, it is going to be 7.25. So on the length of my skirt, I marked 7.25, right? So I'm just going ahead to connect that from my hip to the length of my skirt. So you can see I have that pencil mouth effect right there. Now, you want to go ahead and, eliminate these sharp points because our bodies are, of course, curved, not pointed. So just go ahead and just eliminate this sharp point at the hip area. Okay. Now come to the back. Now, I'm not going to be using a zipper for my skirt because my material is very stretchy. But if you're going to be using a zipper, you want to go in by 0.5 inches from the center back. Okay. Now, this is just the same thing we do for our normal zip contour, just to remove any form of zip bulge. I know in skirts we don't have zip bulge, but you want to have that very nice fitting look at the back of your, back of your skirt at the waistline area. So you should do this whether or not you're using a zipper. I'm not going to be using a zipper. I'm going to be joining my skirt just this way, but I'm not going to be fixing a zipper on that line. Okay. So just go in by 0.5 inches and connect down to your hip. Now, coming down to the length of my skirt for the back, I am going to remember that for the length of my skirt, I minus 2 inches from what I marked on my hip. Now, that 2 inches, I'm not going to be marking it at the same time by the side. I'm going to be dividing it into two. So now I have 1 inch. I'm going to be removing 1 inch by the side, and I'm going to be removing 1 inch at the center back. Now, this is going to serve for the center back, is going to help to give us that our bum contour and that pencil mouth effect at the back of our skirts. Do you understand? So for the front, we removed 2 inches just by the side, but for the back, you're going to divide that 2 inches into two. Okay, so you go in by 1 inch from the side, and then you go in by 1 inch at the center back. Okay, just to give you that bum contour at the back. Okay. Now, come again to the front. We are going to come down by 0.75, okay, to give us that very fitting waistband, when we put on our skirt, to make our waistband be very fitted on us, and to remove those gapings that, you see when you wear a skirt, you see that your waistband is gaping out from your waist. So from the front waistline, come down by 0.75 inches and connect back to the side, just like I did, and then use a very slight curve to do this, not sharp, just a very slight curve to connect. Now, if you want to take your dart, you can either measure your waist round and divide by 2, or you take your nipple to nipple measurement or your bust pan. All right. So here what I took was my bust pan. I am not going to be having a dart for this skirt, but I'm just showing you in case you want to have a dart for your skirt. Now, you can come out by 0.5 inches on both sides, or you can go out by 0.75 inches on both sides. For someone who is on the bigger side, you can go out by 0.75 inches on both sides. And then the length of your dart can be 4 inches, 4.5 inches. When you do this, go ahead and connect your dart, okay? Remember, I am not going to be taking a dart for myself. I'm just showing you in case you want to take your dart. And I also said you can use your bust pan, or you can measure your waist round and divide by 2. Okay. That is it for the front. Then for the back, do the same thing as well. From after going in by 0.5 inches for the zipper, so you're going to be putting your tape rule from that line that you went in, not the initial line. Okay. Then for the back, I came down again by 4 inches for my dart, and I went out by 0.5 inches on both sides. Then just go ahead and connect your darts together. All right. If you have any questions, please drop them on the comment section and I will answer all your questions. Okay. And that's how you take your dart for your skirt. And then when you do this, remember to please replace your darts by the size of your waistline. Make sure to do this, okay? So remember, if you go out by 0.5 inches on both sides, you have 1 inch to replace. So go ahead and replace that 1 inch. So you can see what I have from here to here is 1 inch. I'm going to mark 1 inch again by the side. I've done that for the front. I'm doing that for the back right now. Then I'll connect that back to the hip line. So if you went up by 0.75 inches on both sides, that means you're going to replace 1.5 inches by the side. Do you understand? All right, so now I think I am done with drafting out this. So I'm just going to head to label this to cut on fold for my center front, and then for my back to take my zipper allowance, which we have not taken. So I'm going to be taking that on my fabric when I start cutting on my fabric. Okay. So here, this is just how to draft your basic skirt block. Very simple, very accurate, works for all sizes, okay? So you can do this, make your skirt, and let me know how it came out. I'm sure it's going to come out really, really nice because this works very, very well. I mean, this method works very, very well. Please don't forget to label your patterns after cutting or before cutting. Label your front pattern and your back pattern. And don't forget to eliminate those sharp edges, okay? So guys, you can see what we have here as our front skirt block and our back skirt block. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to remove our band from the skirt. Yes, so when we were drafting out this pattern, we have our band inside our pattern, right? So for my band, I'm going to be taking out 2 inches from that top waistline. Okay, so for the front, remember that we have a curved line on top because we came down by 0.75 inches, at the center front. So you should also use a curved line to connect for your band. Now, if you are going to be having a dart, make sure to close your dart before you connect this line. I'm not going to be having a dart for my own skirt. Okay. Now for the back as well, I'm going to come down by 2 inches from the waistline and I'm going to go ahead and connect on a straight line. Okay. Now, go ahead and please label your bands before you cut out because it can get very confusing. So I was explaining to please cover your to tape in your dart before you go ahead and connect your waistline. If you're going to be having a dart, please go ahead and tape it in or close it up before you connect that line for waistband, okay? So for your band, please label your front band and your back band, and on it as well, label the center front and the part going upwards, okay? And then for the back, you can label the zipper area or the back area and the part going upwards. Also, please make sure to indicate to add 0.5 inches allowance on the down part and the top part of your skirt. This is going to be used to join back the skirt to the band and to maintain that 0.5 inches wideness for our band. Thank you guys for watching. Please do subscribe for more videos and I'll see you on the next one.